All right, thank you for watching Volunteer Audio. I'm Jay.
And I'm Rob. Check out this awesome 2023 Road Glide ST. This is bike number 3 of Road Glide Mania. There's not a more popular bike we're doing right now than the STs, and what better one than a Road Glide?
All right, so the performance bagger craze is the hottest thing right now, and the ST is the perfect bike to start with. It's got the little short front fender. It's got short bags, so you can lean further into curves. It's got the 117 motor that's normally in a CVO, but this one's already been hopped up and been back and even upgraded further. So one of the first things you do when you get a performance bagger is you upgrade the suspension. It's got the Öhlins on it with the external reservoirs. You also upgrade the exhaust. This one's got Reinhardt's on it, and it's got a lot of volume coming out of those pipes. But then you realize real quick, I can't hear my audio. All these different upgrades have made it where no longer you can hear it. This bike's already went back to the local dealer and got the best that they offer, the HD Audio by Rockford, which is terrible. We take more of this out than probably any other factory system. We used to do a lot of Boom 2 systems, but we've got customer after customer saying, my last bike had Boom 2, it was okay. I went and got the Rockford and it's terrible. So at Volunteer Audio, we've got the perfect solution for it. The ST also came with the little mustache bar engine guard. We've put a full-size engine guard because we're going to put a full-size set of lowers on it to give us some awesome speakers up in the front. We're also going to improve the upper speakers with some Hertz SX165Neos. And we're going to take these crazy boom-style lids with the 5x7. We're going to get rid of that Rockford 5x7. We're going to modify it, add an adapter from American Hardback, and put some 6x9s in it so we get some good full mid-bass from the rear. So Robbie and I are going to get it tore apart. We're going to get it upgraded. We're going to show you all the highlights, but hang out to the very end because that's when you're going to get to hear it and see what all this hard work pays off for. This video is brought to you by VolunteerAudio.com, your #1 source for all things Harley-Davidson audio. From individual radios, speakers, and amps to complete plug-and-play amp and speaker systems, we've got you covered. And once you've ordered your package from Volunteer Audio, it includes lifetime tech support. And we have the very best step-by-step installation video so you can install it yourself and save money. So let me go into a little bit more detail as to what we're putting in this bike. First off, let's start at the rear of the bike. I always start at the front. I'm going to start at the back this time. We've got the American hard bags, 5x7 to 6x9 adapters. This bike being an ST did not have power lid locks, and we've got that kit from them. It's going to adapt to fit our Hertz SX690 6x9s. These things have the neodymium magnets, so they're not too heavy on the lid. They don't take up a crazy amount of space, yet they handle a ton of power. That's about 260 watts that they'll handle. We're going to give them about 190 RMS watts. They're really going to put out some good, tight mid-bass. Now, this bike has the HD Audio by Rockford. Dumbest thing ever, they put the amp in the rear bag. Why they do it, I have no idea, because there's plenty of room in the fairing. So we're going to take that out. We're going to use our Rockford bypass harness that we have at Volunteer Audio. It's part of our plug-and-play HD Audio by Rockford amplifiers. We have a plug that just goes in where the original amp was, and then we have 2 additional wires we add on that plug into the front pods. Beyond that, it's completely plug-and-play though. It just plugs in behind the radio, plug these in where they go, bypass that, and the whole bike is wired. Very, very simple install, and we're doing all that with our Hertz SP4.900. We're putting it in the right place, under the radio, behind the headlight, in the fairing on our Road Glide bracket, and this is going to give us over 1,000 watts RMS power, 2,000 watts peak, which is going to be more than enough to get louder than these Reinhardts at whatever speed we want to go on this bike. All right, we're also going to upgrade the radio. In the name of performance, we're going to get better sound output, cleaner sound with the HDHU.14Si. We're also going to add those performance gauges. This thing will keep track of things like 0 to 60 times, quarter mile times. Also gives us about 60 different custom gauge options that we can show on here. If the ECM can read it, this radio can show it. But we're also going to get better control of our audio with the 13-band built-in EQ and the high-pass filters and low-pass filters. Just a ton of adjustment in this radio to make it sound even better. Now in the fairing, we're going to do the SX165Neos. This is the 6.5-inch speaker with the tweeter mounted in the center. We're going to put those up top so we get that crystal clear, clean, detailed music with the mid and the tweeter up in the top. In the bottom, we're going to do the SV165 mid basses. Now to make these things really sound great, we've built a custom set of lowers. So this is a little bit of a trick. We actually use 2 different sets of lowers and we combine them to get the best sound. So this is a complete set of vivid gloss black lowers. Then we use our air-cooled lower adapters, which actually are ported. They have a ported tube inside to give us much better mid-bass response than having a traditional closed-off, sealed tight lower. So a little bit more money because we have to take 2 different parts and put them together. But when we put the mid basses in here and we put the grills on, it looks great and it sounds great. With 6 speakers and over 1,000 RMS watts, this thing is going to be extremely loud, but at the same time, it's going to be super enjoyable to listen to. We don't just want it loud, we want it musical. So this is everything we're doing, completely plug and play. We're going to be adding a satellite radio tuner on the new radio as well, and we're going to make sure we don't void any warranties, even though probably the plan is to void all the warranties with all the performance upgrades. So we'll get this thing tore apart, we'll get it upgraded, watch the highlights of what we're doing, we'll give you a little more details as we go through it, and I can't wait to get done so we can let you hear the end result. All right, so we had a quick change of plans. So this was not a CVO, which means the Rockford system was added on. To make this a more simpler install and to clean up the bike a lot, this thing's already got the Baja LP7 headlights in it. It's got some other accessories. We just wanted to remove the Rockford harnessing. It's very simple. It only T-harnessed in at the front. It grabbed some data around the side. It connected to the battery. But it was very simplistic to unplug everywhere it went, plug in factory connectors back where they go. And that allowed us to use our non-HD Audio by Rockford bypass kit that we have at Volunteer Audio, but use our regular SP4.900 plug-and-play Road Glide kit. This is going to give us just an easier install, a simpler install, and it's going to make sure that the fade on our radio allows us to fade front and rear correctly. So now we can give this back to the owner along with his Rockford amp, his Rockford speakers. He can sell it as a kit to somebody else and enjoy his amazing new upgrade without quite as much expense involved in it. All right, so now moving forward, I just want to make sure you knew we're not using that HD Audio by Rockford version. We're going to use the regular one because on a CVO we would need to, but in this case we thought it'd be better just to remove it all. All right, so we're working on our lids, and this bike's already had the HD Audio by Rockford conversion. So part of that is when you get HD Audio by Rockford, you get these 5x7-inch speakers in new replacement lids. Now, keep your stock lids if you ever do this conversion, because then you can use a cutting kit and put in a 6x9. But if you don't have your stock lids, and maybe you just like the grill, they've got a nice looking grill, you can do a 5x7 to 6x9 conversion. All right, the reason we would do that, first I want to let you see the 2 speakers. Here's our Hertz 6x9, there's our Rockford 5x7. If you notice, we're going to have a lot more excursion or movement of this cone. We're also going to have a lot more surface area to that speaker. What this means is it's going to play a more full sound. It's going to play more bass. It's going to do that very, very loud and very clear, where when you try to play bass out of this, it just distorts and sounds pretty muddy. It doesn't sound clear. So the tweeter is better on the Hertz. The woofer is larger and better on the Hertz. It is a waterproof speaker, and it just is going to give us the sound we need from behind you. Now remember, your ears are facing the front speakers. We need the rears extremely loud, and they've got to be able to handle that loudness, that power we need to throw at it without blowing up. And the really big downside to these 5x7s or the Boom 5x7s, it's a revolving door of blown up speakers trying to get it loud enough while riding. So the solution is we modify this lid. We remove the 5x7, and this thing, it kind of looks like a turtle shell. We're going to cut that off. We're going to cut it off, we're going to sand this down smooth, and then we're going to stack in these spacers. We've got the 5x7 spacer that's going to bolt in where the speaker was. We then have an adapter that's going to bring us to our 6x9, and when we're done, it's going to look like this. So we still have that original grill. We still have gaskets, keeping everything watertight, and now we have our Hertz 6x9 in our beautiful lid. So if you had a CVO and it came factory with HD audio by Rockford, it would be the exact same process, except for you'll have a power locking lid actuator. So they've got a button that you can press and it locks and unlocks the lock on your lid. So pretty cool, and we can retain that with just the same exact parts but a little thicker. We have both available at volunteeraudio.com. Now I'm going to take this speaker out and I'm going to show you how we cut, sand, modify, and put this together and how we got to this point. So keep watching. All right, so we cut this thing that looks like a turtle shell off the backside, then took our sander and we've sanded it so we've got a good smooth surface where our adapters are going to go. This is important because each layer of this adapter has gaskets and we want them to seal watertight, so if we get caught in the rain, we don't end up with a bag full of water. So making sure this is sanded really well is important to keep that watertight seal. Also, when you get this kit from American Hard Bags, it's going to come with these aluminum, they call them riv nuts. This is a compression nut that will squeeze and tighten in here. We found though on this plastic that if we start using a tool and we compress these, it cracks the plastic. So at Volunteer Audio, we've got a full step-by-step video on how to do this that goes into all the details, but what we do, long story short, is we're going to glue each one of these little riv nuts into this, into the factory holes. So right where the 5x7 went in, we've got a 1/4-inch bit. We just drilled those little screw holes out. We insert these metal threaded inserts, and then we're going to use a quick-acting super glue. It's called Stick Fast, and we're going to put that around the edge of each one of these, hit it with an activator. Just a few seconds later, it's all dry enough, then we can start stacking these components in. We don't have to worry about this spinning, and we don't have to worry about busting out the plastic. We think it's a better way to do it. So we've already done our other one. We already showed you it completed. I'm going to finish this one up, get our speaker mounted. We'll get back on the bike, get our wiring ran, show you how it all mounts back up. All right, so we've got our HD Audio by Rockford 6.5-inch upgrade speakers out of our front fairing pods. Now on the Road Glide, something to always keep in mind is there's not a lot of clearance in here for a large magnet speaker. So we always use a neodymium magnet speaker, which when we're talking about performance baggers is a much better idea, because when we use these Hertz speakers, if you notice, it's not a huge magnet. It doesn't weigh a ton. It's going to keep you with really good handling. And really that's the point of having a performance bagger, is that you can take it, you can go on those curvy, twisty roads, you can have a good time, and we don't want a lot of weight in the upper fairing ruining the way our bike handles. But this speaker supposedly has a Neo magnet too. Rockford says it does. And I think you'll find out that it does not have much of a magnet. There's our screws. If we take our Hertz speaker, you notice it actually has a strong magnet. The magnet's going to give us more power handling, more control over the speaker. It's going to also allow us to use a bigger amplifier, so we're going to get more output, more sound, more clarity. And with that Neo magnet, it's going to clear these pods without any modification. Some of the other speakers we see people using, some of the terrible installs we come behind, they just cut the whole backside out of these pods. I had one recently, a guy air sawed it out and cut a hole through his fairing trying to fit a bigger speaker. Terrible idea. The Hertz speakers are going to be a direct drop-in. They're going to sound amazing, and they're not going to require you to take an air saw, cut something up, or a torch, or something and heat it up to try to bend it. At the same time, we have a much, much better tweeter than we have in our HD Audio by Rockford as well. So the extra power this woofer is going to handle is going to give us better mid bass, but this is the brightest, clearest, cleanest tweeter I've heard on a 6.5 in Harley use. And that one is going to sound a lot better than those two. But we're going to let Robbie get this back together, get it back on the bike. We're going to move on, get our lowers installed. We'll go over our amplifier a little bit more. And very, very soon, we'll be checking this bike out and listening and showing you just how awesome it sounds. All right, so Road Glide Mania bike number 3, our 2023 Road Glide ST is done. We've already powered it up. We've tested our polarity of all of our speakers. They were in phase, and I am so excited to let you hear just how amazing it sounds now. So I'm going to turn on some copyright-free music. This is a pretty good rock feel song. It's got some good mid bass, some good crisp highs. I want you to check out and just see what it sounds like. All right, so that is extremely loud, crystal clear. It sounds amazing, and I know that the owner of this bike and the other 2 Road Glides is going to be absolutely tickled with the overall sound. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like the way this turned out, that you love this Road Glide. This ST is amazing. I think the lowers really added to the look. The grills went great with the other grills that are on it. But anyways, if you've got any questions about this video, comment below. I'll answer them as quick as I can. Please like this video because it's going to help Volunteer Audio move up in search results, and we just need your help to make sure other people get to see the videos we work so hard making. Subscribe to our channel to see the latest in Harley audio, the latest as it comes out, the latest on how to install it, and the latest on how to use it once you've got it on your bike. Give us a call at 1-844-30-AUDIO if you want to get your Harley upgraded. We'd love to talk to you about your system, about your ideas, about your budget, and build you the perfect system for your bike. Visit volunteeraudio.com to see all the packages that we have available for your bike. Any sales or specials we have are up on the homepage, so check it out there. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and God bless.
You're Rob, or you're Jay?
Yeah.
I'm Rob. You're Rob, I'm Jay. Welcome to
Rob and Jay show.
Yep. All right.